Okay. So here, I think this is the Google Classroom. I think all of you have joined it. Send your submissions, clearly mentioned. Don't send to me. I will not evaluate. Okay. So send it to this particular email ID, right? So other than last week I will discuss. First, here is how many of you have submitted and how much you have submitted, and who have not yet submitted. Those things we will discuss at the end, right? Now, we shall start with the today's programs. As I told first, before going to the program, I will discuss on the layout managers, the role of layout managers. So we'll use something called as Android Studio to do the development task. Okay. So we'll take up a new activity, new project. So how to do that is, first you have to go to File, click New. In that new project, empty activity by default, since you are a beginner, we'll all start with the empty activity. Okay, where to save the project? Maybe I think I got a folder for that, MATLAB. So this is the place where I will save that. Also, you should give the project location or the project name. Let us say I will give the project name as trial. So just I will start with some trial layouts. Amala will take up next thing called as a visiting card. Okay. So you can create a folder, and in that folder, make sure that this particular project is there. So whatever name you give, that should be the same as the project name here. Next, click Finish. We should get a very empty activity like this. So it will take some time to build those files. And whenever we talk about any Android app, there will be two files which is automatically ready for us. One is the Kotlin, the other is the XML. Assuming that you have selected your project in Kotlin, which is by default now. Kotlin is the default. Later you can even use Java, but here this Silva Sand main project will be using Kotlin itself. Already we have discussed the reasons and other things in the previous sessions. Now this XML is basically a front end. Okay, it is a design. We do any Android app is classified as design and implementation, where the design is the GUI, front end, and implementation is the Kotlin, that is the back end or the logic what you're going to write. Okay, so you'll have so many widgets in your app. You want to give the actions for that. So actions are given in the Kotlin. The front end layout has to be created, for which you use XML. And fortunately, we need not learn pinpoint of XML, and you need not code everything in XML. There is a front end for you, which automatically generates the XML. So your job might be to have a proper layout manager, give some proper spacings through the front end properties only. Then automatically XML will be generating the code. Wherever required, we will make use of XML code also, but that will be very minimal. Okay, XML code which we are going to write is minimal. It will be automatically generated with the front end. And such a front end is provided by Android Studio. Okay. So coming to this point here, okay, let us just increase. I think it's a little bit visible now. I was doing some experiment with buttons. So let me add two buttons here. I can just drag and drop. It's a drag and drop business. That's it. Now we have got two buttons. Okay. So any property you take, for that matter, this is how the app looks like. There are two buttons. For every widget, whether it is this holder or whether it is the interface button, technically the holder is called as view group. And these widgets, what you have, buttons, radio groups, the radio button, toggle button, switch, anything what you take, they are called as view. Widgets there, whichever is visible, which is called as view. The container of the widgets, we call it as view group. Okay, that is technically called view group and view in general, right? Here, my view group is actually the constraint layout, which is the default layout that comes up with the Android. My views are two buttons, which is laid on the constraint layout. And for every view or view group, whether it is a view or a view group, you can use the attribute window. Side layer, it will be there on the right side. Attributes. You can just explore various attributes you have got, but we will not go through all the attributes. We will only discuss whichever required. When and that is required, I will just use them. Okay. Ega my very simple requirement is if button if there is something caption called button, I want to change that to first. So which is the attribute I have to use? That I have to see. So there is an attribute called as text. There is an attribute called as text. Otherwise, we will just make it as first. And if you want, you can make it as all caps. So automatically caps is done. Color can be given. You can give some color to that. Of course, this might not be visible. So some color we will give, right? Next, color can be given. Then what else? You can make it bold. Many other attributes are there. As I told, we will not take everything. We will increase the size. And also we will make it as bold. So which are the attributes we have taken there? Can you recall what are the changes I did there? For that particular button, what are the changes I did? What are the attributes we changed for the button? Yeah, text was changed. Very good. Then next. So size was changed, color was changed. Okay. So all caps we have used. That means even though given the lowercase, automatically yes, boldface was done, right? Okay. Ide tara we'll make similar changes to our second button. Similar changes to the second button. So go and catch the text attribute and you write it as second. Let it be in all caps. If you want, you can change the color. Okay, we will do that. Right. And we can also make it bold face. You can increase the size, font size. Did anybody mention about font size? Okay, font size also we have done. Fine. So now there are two buttons, and there is a constraint layout which is having those two things. Now it's the time to run this app. Okay, we have to run this app. It has to be bundled as an APK and it has to be run. Rather than testing on mobile, I will be using one more emulator. Actually, earlier I told use BlueStacks, but unfortunately, many apps did not work on the BlueStack. We tested all the Lab4 programs. Only Kellogg programs did not work. So what we thought is we have gone for another emulator called Andy emulator. It is also available in the same link. The name of the emulator is Andy emulator. I think I've given you a cloud link. Maybe let me open that again. If I open the previous lab sessions material, in that there is a web link. And here I have put the Andy emulator, Andy 47260. Then you can download and you can install. Okay, rather than BlueStack. Okay. BlueStack again, versional and other main differences are there. I think hassle-free Andy emulator runs, right? And it seems to be a little fast as well. Okay. So what we'll do now is we'll open that Andy emulator. We'll open the Andy emulator. Launch it. Because my app is there, I want to run somewhere. Of course, one of the options is you can use mobile phone, but we'll keep it at the end. Because for experimental purpose, emulator is better initially. We will finally run it in the mobile. So let it launch. Initially, it will take little time for launching. Later, app will be fast. Apps will run fast. Okay, so it is launching there. Andy emulator. Okay. Swipe to unlock. It is unlocked, I think. Let this emulator be there and let us go back to our Android Studio. There, go for run. In that, you have to select the device. You have to select the device. Which is the device I will select? Andy OS. Andy OS on the device. That is for representing the emulator. Then again, go to run and click run app. So the application will build and finally it will get launched here. Okay, it is installing. Again, the problem, what is the problem here compared to our front end? What we thought in design and what is the output? Actually, we are not getting the output as per the design. So what is going wrong there? Yeah, buttons are overlapping. Now this is what happens with constraint over layout. Okay, we have to change the layout, then we can get those different positioning required. Okay, and okay, this is about the anti-emulator. Let it be as it is. If you want, you can just close them one by one because many apps are running here. Just like a mobile phone, you can use it. Fine. You're coming back to this thing. What else we can do? We can't use constraint layout. We have to put some other layout here. So let us start with one of the layout called as. So these are all the different layouts available. Let us start with linear layout horizontal. So let it add to the design. Okay, add to the design. Right, linear layout. In that we have got two buttons. Linear layout horizontal means the direction is horizontal. Direction horizontal means the components will be placed horizontally, one beside another. It will try to fit. First, it will try to fill up the one row. If that row is complete, it will go for second row, like that. It is equivalent to the floating layout what we have in Java. So it will float one beside another. So if I add a third button, it will come to beside the second button. That is one thing. Second, you can always give a space between them because now you can see that both of them are jam-packed. They are closed. Okay, so we can give a space. There are two options. Either you can give a left space for the second button or right space for the first button. Now, space between the components, what do you call them? Space between the components. Because there are two buttons, and in between you have to create a space. So first of all, what do you call that space as? Yes, they are called as margins. And the margins are directional. Margins are directional means, which are the four directions they will have? Margins are always directional. Margin is the space between the components, right? And margin is directional. It has got four directions. And four directions, we call it as trouble. What is trouble here? So there can be a top margin, right margin, bottom, as well as left. Top, bottom, top, right, bottom, left. That is what trouble in short, right? So for any component, we can give the left margin space, right margin space, top margin space, as well as the bottom margin we can give. And we will be exploring that in future programs which we are going to use. Here, just to demonstrate, I will give some space on the right side of the first button. That is, go for an option called as, it will be alphabetically sorted, go for margins. Layout margin. There is an option called layout margin. In that, there are directions, left to top, right to bottom. Trouble, as I told. Give some right space and don't forget the units. Units can be SP, DP, PT, you can give the units. Normally we use SP, space, right? Now there is a space between the components. So how to test it? Again, go to run and run the app. That should get loaded to the emulator. So we created a horizontal layout and then you can see that there is a space. So horizontally the components are laid out and in between there is a space. So just like a horizontal layout, what else we can do? We can also create a linear layout only. One of the option is go for horizontal linear layout. Likewise, in the linear layout, you can also use vertical linear direction. What is vertical direction? How the components will be placed? The components will be placed one below another. Instead of one beside another, it will be one below another. Just to test for the same example. Here, go to the code. You can see that the direction is horizontal. Linear layout. Direction is horizontal. We can change the direction to vertical. Directional error option is there. You can either give horizontal or vertical. Now, what is the change by giving vertical? You can see the component is one beside another, right? Now, if you want to give the space, Sorry, if you want to give the space vertically, what is that we have to use? Which margin? If I want to give the vertical space between the components, which margin I have to use? Between the components, we have used right and left. Here we can use top and bottom, either the top of the second component or the bottom of the first component. Okay, that means, okay, let's close this. Yeah, take the second component and there you can give top space. Let us give 20 SP. It has come down. Test it. Go to run and run the app. Now you can see that it is having a space of 20 SP, the margin, right? The top margin I created for the second one. Okay. So this is about the linear layouts. Okay. But the problem with the linear layouts is they are directional. That is, either they will go horizontally or they will go vertically. If you want diagonally, then something else we have to do. Okay, that is one thing. And second, if you want to take a space relatively, it is not possible. So there is one more layout called as relative layout, which is not actually mentioned here, but in the code you can change it. Rather than writing linear layout, you can write relative layout. A relative layout does not have any direction. Okay, this is the relative layout. Now go to the design. Now this is how it looks. Now you have to give manually yourself the space. That is taking the second button. What I will give, I will go for layout. See, we can, so many other new attributes get added. To the parent, we can align it. Right side, left side, we can align to the parent. Okay. Now these options we'll be using later. These options will not be there in linear layout. Aligning with respect to parent, no. That option will not be there with the linear layout. I want to place the component center of the parent. I want to place the component right side of the parent. However, those things we cannot do with the linear layout. We have to go for relative layout. Okay. Here we will now use our again layout margin. We'll do one thing. We'll fix some top space which is not sufficient here. We'll give 50 SP, and there is a space. We can give some left margin also. Somewhat diagonally it comes. Okay. Run that. I have made both the margins. Use of both the margins. That is top margin as well as left margin as well as the top margin. So there is no specific direction. You can put it anywhere you want. That is the advantage. That is the relative layout. One second. It's taking a little time to build the relative layout. So we have linear layouts, and then we have got relative layouts. Likewise, we have got a old one called absolute layout, where you can give X and Y coordinates as you give in graphics. Okay, you can give X and Y positioning also. And other than that, we have got tabular layout. So tabular layout only components will be presented in the rows and columns. If you compare with your HTML tables, you can create rows, you can create columns and put the component there. Okay, calculator design only we will take that example. Okay. Next week when we do calculator, we'll take up the what is known as tabular layout. Aದೇ ತರ phone dialer on the experiment ಇದೆ. There also we will use tabular layout, where we'll create rows as well as the columns and put the components there. Similar to tabular layout, there is something called as grid layout. Now, grid layout is same as tabular layout, but the advantage of grid layout is If the tabular layout data increases, then you don't get a scroll bar. So in the app, it will be clipped. You can't see the rest of the contents. So in that case, you can use grid layout where automatically scroll bar is added. Okay, if the data is very much, the data is too much, which does not fit within the tab screen, and you have given a tabular layout, then rest of the contents get clipped. You can't see that. So instead of that, you can better go for the what is known as grid layout. Again, one more option is that tabular layout. You can put scroller bar, and you can use that. But instead of that, direct approach is go for grid layout. On the frame layout, where it is same as the frame container where you can put the components. And you can divide the app into multiple sections. Each section you can keep a frame, and in that frame you can put the components. We will rarely use that, and we will not discuss that. So tabular layout next programs we will discuss. Most of the things which we will design in this lab will be linear layout and relative layout. It is basically these two. Okay, so now whether we have got output. Still it is running. Oh, terminate. Okay. So this is relative layout where you can put the components anywhere you want by giving the proper positions. That is left margin, right margin. Either positioning. Margin will control the positions. Margin specification itself will give you the positioning where you want to put the component. Okay. Instead of that, you can also go for when old layout is there called as absolute layout. You can see that it is striked off. What do you mean by striked off? If some option or something is striked, either if they are striken off, what does it mean actually? Whether in Java or in Android, what does it mean actually? If some feature is striked off, it is deprecated. And what is the meaning of deprecated? What is the meaning that this is deprecated feature? The absolute, yes, they will be replaced in soon in future. They are going to be made absolute in future, and you have to change it. So therefore, we rarely use absolute layout because finally it is going to be removed. Okay, but the advantage what you have is if you are using absolute layout, you can see here. Okay, the first button, second button, let it be. Go to this. There is an option here. Take the second button. Yeah. EJKL. There are two options: layout X and layout Y. Layout X and layout Y. Okay, X coordinate and Y coordinate. Representing the X coordinate and Y coordinate offsets we can specify. For example, I can give the X coordinate some 20 SP and Y coordinate as 20 SP. So it comes down. Maybe I will give 40 SP. It comes further down. Can give the trial and error. We can keep on mentioning the X and Y coordinate. Just like margin, you can give X and Y directly. Because normally, if you have already designed your graphics application, you know that it works by X and Y. The positioning of the elements in your graphics, it works with the X, Y specification of the coordinates. Same thing you can do here again. And like in Java also, if you use null layout, then you can mention the X and Y coordinates there, where the component should come. On the absolute position you can give where it should come. So that is there, but unfortunately it is deprecated, even though we can run and check that. But we will not use that because anyway it is going to be removed in future. So Gradle is built and we have got the component. Sorry, it should be terminated. Terminate actively run it will ask to terminate once and we get the output. Okay. Anyway, output you will get, still your absolute layout is still there, but sooner or later it is going to be removed. Okay. So linear layout, vertical, horizontal, relative layout, this is much sufficient to design any app. Along with that, we discussed absolute layout, and also we have in card table layout. Table layout, and next example we will discuss. Right. Now, straight away with all this information on layout management, we will go to the designing of our first program because it's just a design experiment. So many layout management techniques also you will learn with that. Okay. So let us move forward to that. What is that program we will see? This is the program. Let me just increase the font. So what you have to do is you have to create a visiting card in simple. You have to design your visiting card. Okay. The visiting card should look like this. It should have a company name, a logo, There should be a line, and then you should collect the other details like name, job title, phone number, address. This should display. There is no input from the user. User will only get output. There is no input here. Visiting card is a static application. Okay, it's a static app where there will be no interaction with the user. Just if you runs the app, you will get the visiting card. That's all. A simple application. Now, which layout managers we have to use in sequence? Which should be the master layout manager here? If you see this design, which layout manager we have to use? Among whatever we have discussed. Which layout manager we have to use? We have to use linear layout in that which direction, whether horizontal or vertical. It should be a vertical. So vertical, if you do that, sorry, if you do vertical, is that? You can get this as one component and bottom is another component and line is another component. Okay, which are those? The first is company name and logo, one. Line is second. The description of the user, name, job title, phone number, this is one. Three components we require. Next question comes. How do you get this display in Android? And it's a textual display. So which is the widget that holds the textual display in Android? Okay, so go to the Android. Okay, we'll do one thing. We'll start building the application. What you have to do? First, go to File, New Project. Go to the Activity. Yes, let us give my name as, let us give proper name itself. What is that? Visiting card. Because that is our app, visiting card. Give the same name. Right. Again, as usual, two activities will be, two programs will be ready for you, XML and Kotlin. You have to write remaining code, Kotlin code as well as the XML designing you have to do. Forget about what is there, just delete everything. Keep it empty canvas, right? This is our empty canvas. Here, one text view, you delete that. Okay. We have to start with linear layout, vertical. Second one, linear layout vertical is either you can put right click and add to design, or you can drag and drop. Both are okay. Okay. So now we have got a linear layout vertical. And to that, what are the components you have to add? The linear layout vertical, what you should add further? Because you need a company name, you need an image, and you need other details. And also one line is required. Okay. So we have started with linear layout vertical. Next, we have to add the other components. So what I will do here is, as I told, this should be my one of the component. It's hold together. The company name with logo itself, I will consider one component. So which could be the layout manager that can place those elements? The company name, particularly logo, that you have to create one beside another. Which layout manager we can use? We can either use a linear layout horizontal or we can use relative. And the reason I will use relative because it can get me to the center directly rather than doing any margin and other things. Okay. So see here what I will do. I will create okay. I'll create a linear layout horizontal, no problem. I'll put that inside this. This should come inside. Master should be linear layout vertical. One of the component is linear layout horizontal. Then go to the code and change this to not linear layout. We change this to relative layout. Relative layout. Is it clear? So we'll create a relative layout here. Fine. This is one of the component, one of the layout manager. Second, okay, in that relative manager, this is the relative manager. As you can see, it is occupying the entire app space. There is entire screen space. Why? Because there are two attributes you can observe. Layout width and layout height. Layout width and layout height will tell how much space it is going to occupy. Right now it is occupying the entire space. Why? Because the values are match parent and match parent. It will always take the entire screen size. Instead of that, you choose another option called width, let it be as it is. Width, let it take the entire screen. But height, I will take wrap content. then you can see wrap content means whatever content you will give, only that much space it will take. By default, it will try to occupy the entire canvas. But if that itself occupies the entire canvas, other components will not get the space. So we have to set the height as either specific value or give the value called wrap content. Wrap content means whatever content you create, that much space it will take. Okay. So as soon as you go on adding the components, it will grow. Vertically, it will grow. Okay. So see here, this is the relative layout. For this, I will add two things. One is the text view, the other is the image view. To go to the text, there is something called text view. Now, what is a text view? As the name itself indicates, it is a view to display the text. It is used to only display the text. And by default, only one line text can be displayed. Label is then, if you go to HTML, there is something called label. Like that, or in Java, JSwings, you have got JLabel. Like that here, to display something, we use what is known as text view. So it's a view to display the text. And to display the image, you have got image view. Both are displaying. Display text or display image. Text view or image view. Okay. Now, so text view can be added. First, we'll add a text view. Put this inside it. You can see there is a text view. Okay, very text view anta bandide. What I will do here is I will set certain properties. See them. First, I will go to layout manager, that is margin. Okay, just select the text view once. And here you can see that there is a property called layout gravity. Okay, there is a property called as layout gravity. Okay, center to the parent, we will use this. It comes to the center. Okay, one of the property I've used is center in parent. Itara property is only in relative layout. Okay, so layout center in the parent, the text box comes to the center because as you can see here, this should come to the center, company name. Okay. So next, what is the text I have to give there? I'll give my text as JNNCE company. Let it be in all caps. Let us give some color to that. Okay, it's time to increase the size as well. Where is the size? Okay, we'll increase the size. And we can even make it bold. So what I did there, I created a text view. Okay, a text view, what are the properties I did? I centered it to the parent. Layout underscore center in parent. I center to the parent. Layout center parent, there will be a property. Second, I changed the text. I changed the color. I changed it bold. I increased the size. All these things we did. This is text view. Company name has been written. By the side of that, I want an image. Now, first of all, I have to download some image and place it in the proper place. Unless you place the image in the right place, you can't get it in the Android. You can't put any image you want. You have a folder image you can't access here. If the image has to be accessed inside the Android app, they should be put in the appropriate folder. And that folder is drawable folder. That folder is drawable folder. Is it clear? If any image has to be accessed in Android, where it should be present? It should be present in the drawable folder. Now, on the logo now we will take, like JNNC logo, let me take. Yahoo. Google will take. Okay, JNNC logo. Take any one of them, whichever is available. So save image, where you have to save this? As I told, it should be saved in the drawable folder. Now, where is that? Go to the place where your project is there, E drive, MATLAB. and visiting card. This is my folder. In that, go to app, source, main, resource, drawable. Don't worry, no, Sati, you see the video, you will get all these things. I'm practice act, you will get that. So I'll just show again. E drive, and my project is folder is MATLAB. In that specific project is visiting card, app, source, main, resource, drawable. Give some proper name, JNN logo. Okay, the image is available there. And if you only keep it in the folder, appropriate folder called as drawable, it can be accessed here in the app. Okay. Now, I had to use something called as, go to the widgets. I should use image view. Just add the image view here. It will ask you to select the image, and the image is JNN logo, which I just added. It is in the drawable folder. Okay. It matter better. I assume that this stage you are completed. You should have put the image there. Then only it is accessible now. Okay. Click on that. This comes here. And where should be the location of the image? Is it to the left of the text view or to the right of the text view? Where it should be present? Where that logo should be present? Left side or right side? As per the program requirement. Yeah, it should be present on the right side. Fine. So what we will do here is go to this image view. One of the property I will configure, only one of the important property, and that is layout align parent right. So it comes to the right side. Okay. Then reduce the size, which you can do with the mouse itself, like this. Reduce the size, which can be done using the mouse. You can further reduce if you want. If you don't know how to operate mouse, then you can use this property, width and height, and you can manually set 67 dp, 99 dp. Then you add on value code. Okay. Is it clear? So we have the text view and we have got the image. So that was the first thing, I think, company name and image. Adadmel, what should be there? After that, what you should draw? What is the next component to be drawn? We have filled the first compartment is done. In the linear layout, we have done the, what is that? Text is there and logo is there. Line, horizontal line should come. Now there is no direct option for horizontal line. There is no direct option. What you should do is, you should create a view. It should not be inside here. It should be a child of linear layout. View. A view should be created. And if you see the width and height of the view, okay. What we should do here is, we should make one small change, that is height and width has to be given. Let the width be as it is. Height I will give as 2 dp. This itself is a view. Line. So line create madadenge andre, what you have to do is, you have to create an empty view. Change the width, change the height. Height you give very small height, 1 dp, 2 dp. It will be the thickness of that line. Width as it is, full you can take. You can give match parent itself, so that the entire line you will get. Color, if you want, you can change. There is a color property, background, and we can put some color for that. We'll put a blue color. Okay, there is a line. Okay, that is also done. What is next required? What else is required? We have done the company name logo. We have got a horizontal line. Adadmel, what should come? The details. Which widget we have to use to get those details or put those details? You can name of the person, phone number, website, all those details are there. In which view I can display that? Already we have done that. Which is that view? Which view? Text view. So the view used to display the text is called as text view. But additional challenge is we have got multiple lines of text. By default, text view can only display one line. Now we have to increase the number of lines and fit in the data. How to do that, we will see. So how many lines of text are required? First we'll count that. We require 4 plus 1, 5. 5 or 6 we have to put. Okay, 5 to 6 lines have to be drawn. Now go to the text, get a text view. Okay, it is spanning the entire text. Let it be, no problem. Okay, width. Again, wrap content. Now where this should come, the text view where it should come to the center. How to do the centering? There's a property called layout gravity, and there you take center. Okay, and normal gravity also center. And then we'll put the contents here. Before that, as I told, multiple lines of text is required. We can change the font. No text right now. Text I will tell where to put. We'll change the text size to some 18p. Okay, and if you want, you can make it bold is not required. Now to feed the text, go to the code. Okay, the text view is outside. Yeah, you can see here in the design, it has come to the center. LI, it should be inside linear layout, all the three. Relative layout, view and text view too. Now, to feed the contents, before that, how many lines I told? There should be 6 lines. So what we will do? Go to text view, there is some property called as minimum lines. And in minimum lines, you give 6. Now we can see 6 lines it can accommodate. How to give the 6 line data? Yeah, we will do one thing. So Android : text is equal to, what is the first in that? Name. So let me give my name. Let's see whether it is working. Yeah. Then to go to the new line, you have to give manually /n. Okay, /n has to be given. Next, job title, phone number, job title. Let me give my job title. And then phone number. Then the next. Address, email, website. Address. Email. And website. To the college website. Fax, so if you want, you can give the fax number 081822767. Some number you can. Fax. See the content there. This is the content. Okay. If you want, you can give some space at the beginning of the text view. How to give some space at the beginning of the text view? Text view is created, and remember 2 properties: gravity and the layout gravity. Both should be centered. Gravity and layout gravity. Gravity means the component, the whole component comes to the center. This is layout gravity. Normal gravity means the content inside that will be at the center. You can check that, both the properties. What is the first one? Layout gravity. If you remove the center, the whole box goes to the left side by default. You can bring it to the center. The normal gravity, another property. So by default, the text gets aligned to the left side. So you can align that to the right side. So the contents inside the text, if you want to align, it is gravity, and the whole text view you want to align, it should be layout gravity, right? Okay, now how to give some space? On the line immediate, the text should not come. There should be some space. Yes, you have to give margin top. Very good. So go to the property layout margins, and in that give some space 40 sp. Space. Okay. That's 20 sp. You can color this and bold it. As usual, the properties are available here. This should be better. You can bold it. Go to textile and make it bold. Okay, this is our visiting card. Just run this app. Let us see how it looks. First take of the app. At least whether the components have come in the right place, we will just check it. Later, few optimizations you can always do. So it should launch now. So the entire window it has taken, and it has put the line there, and we have got these things. If you want, you can compress this rather than taking the entire space. We can restrict it to take some space. Okay, this is also sufficient. Example, because that is what they have mentioned. Give us the company name. Better you can bring it closer. It has gone way far. You can bring it closer, and the line can be only drawn from here to there. And the text is there. Up to that, you can put the line rather than putting the line entirely like this. You can change it. You can bring the image very close to the content. So let's try that. Try to make those two changes. A small minimum changes I will try to make. If I want to bring this, then which margin I have to give? See here, which margin will have an effect. So layout margin, right side, if I increase that to 50 dp, this comes closer to JNNC. Now you have to catch in the right margin of the image view. It will come closer to the text, right? Next, coming to the width, can manually specify because it has taken the width of the parent. So if I give 100 dp, okay, it has taken that much. Let us bring it to the center first. Maybe 100 sakagala, we will give. If they are all trial and error, we can just give that 200 dp. Further, the property is layout gravity, which you can bring to the center. Okay. This is okay. Let's try to increase the width 300. Fine. Sufficient or okay. Run this now. But still that this is fixed. We have to change it. Okay. The image is not coming closer. We have to change that. In that case, we'll do one thing. We'll remove this right of the parent and then align it to the right of JNNC. And then give the appropriate margin. This one. That is what user interface. User interface design is all about experimenting. Okay, it is asking to terminate, I think. Yeah. This is better, right? So that align right I will not use. Rather, what I will do is I will align it to the right of, sorry, align it to the left of, which is the text view. Left or right according. Not be the case. And you anyone. Yeah. Then you can fill up your values. It was correct. Previously, what I did was correct actually. Align it to the left itself. Okay. Then give some margin as discussed. Okay. Fine. Once more we'll check. Fine. If required, you can put a border to this. That is, as you can see in the visiting cards, there will be some border. But for doing border, unfortunately, direct option is not there in Android. We have to create a shape file, and that shape file should be given to the background of the managers, linear layout manager. Okay. I'll just show that. Exam purpose, even if you don't do it's okay, because they're not asking for any bordering, right? This much is sufficient. So I'll just summarize till this and then go to that extra option which is there at the end. So what are the things we did now? We started with which layout manager? Whole visiting card. We started with which layout manager? Which is the master layout manager here. Linear layout vertical, right? Linear layout vertical. Fine. In that, next which layout manager we took for? In order to get the text view and that relative layout. And in that relative layout, which are the two components we took? Which are the two components inside the relative layout? Image, first is text view, then is the image view. Okay. So text view, to bring it to the center, how did we do that? The whole text view, JNC came to the center. Yeah, the property is layout gravity, right? It should be to the center, right? Not actually gravity. That is not the property. The property is, see here, you can show that. Layout align center, parent center. Either layout center horizontal. This is the property. To bring the entire text view to the center, we have used this. Of course, the other option what you told is also correct. You can use gravity also. Fine. Next, to get the image view, first of all, some image is required. Where you have to put the image in the Android so that it becomes accessible. Drawable folder. You have to search the drawable folder and put there. And once you get the image, you can, using the mouse itself, you can resize that. And then you have to align it to the left of the text view and then give some margin so that it comes very close to the text view. Then how did we draw the line? That is the next component. How the line was drawn, which widget or view. And how to get that line-like appearance, which is the important property there. Which is the important property so that we get a line. Height. Height is a very important property. Height should be 1 dB or 2 dB. Ashte avaga the line agutte. Illanga it becomes a box, right? Small height should be there. Okay. And then you can give the color. You can align that margins. Margin also is there. Everywhere you have to use the margin. That's all. Other trial and error we will get it. No need to buy out all those things. Okay. Ide another one, if you know that, you can always do it or work it out yourself, right? Again, whole is on the experimental. This whole experiment is for the one program itself. You get a lot of time to play with those things, right? What is the third component we took after that? What was the third component? The third component was a text view. And by default, text view can display only one line. How to make it multiple lines, like 6 lines or 5 lines? Which property? Which is a property, a minimum number of lines, min lines. So, and then you can again use gravity, layout gravity, bring it center. Those things are done. Coloring, bolding, all those things were done. Now you have a kind of visiting card as put in the question. As I told, additionally or optionally, what you can do is you can even put a border to that. I'll just show you. You can use that if you want to give it much more good appearance or a better appearance. Yeah, correct. ಈಗ text view ಅಲ್ಲಿ the code we entered to the code window and we typed the data, and there we have used /n everywhere to make it into a separate line. We have used /n, right? So I think this is the code. I can just show you again. Itara. So name /n, job title, phone number, address, ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು separated by /n. Okay. So the entire code is generated for you. We have done the design, and the code is getting generated in the XML. Okay. Further, as I told, there is one more option that is you can use. I'll just show you what code you have to put for that. I'll just copy the code. I'll tell you where you have to save and other things. Lot of theory stuff we have put in the manual. Later in the we'll be releasing manual program by program. Okay, what you have to do is you go to the drawable folder again, and there you create a new file. Okay, what you have to do, go to the drawable folder which is in resource and create a new file. Let us call that file as some b.xml. b.xml. Put the code. Of course, the first line is the pledge of the XML. Second, shape is the code. A shape is a tag. And in that shape, we are going for a rectangle shape. And rectangle shape, we are giving the, what we can say, rounded rectangle by using corner. Corner is given some radius, 20 dp. And the stroke, that is the thickness of the rectangle, is controlled using stroke, where the width can be given, width and color can be given. Otherwise, we are trying to put a rectangle to the visiting card. So some shape can be imposed there. How to do that? Go to the, okay, this is first you have to do. Go to the drawable folder and put b.xml and put all these tags, that is shape, corner, stroke, inside the XML. Then here, go to the layout, linear layout. In that, you write Android, you have to put a code, background is equal to @drawable/b. And you link that XML shape file to the background of the linear layout. So what is the use is, you can see that the entire linear layout is getting this. The entire app is coming like this. So instead of entire app, let us try to fix into this content. So what we can do here is height. We can use wrap content. As you can see, this visiting card is surrounded with this rounded rectangle. Okay. If you want, still you can further bring it to this inside like this. Andre adಎಷ್ಟು content irutte ashte barutte. So if you run this, both wrap content I will give for linear layout. Let us see what happens. What is the difference? So it will install. Oh, terminate, I think. So it is a small visiting card. Again, you can give some width separately and you can bring it little far. What we'll do is you can give some width. Okay. I don't think left margin will work. Let us just check. Gravity is going to work. No. Since it is inside constraint layout, nothing will work. They will constrain. Okay. So don't bother. Just try this and at least get some space on the right side. So a little bit looking like an appearance. You can change the width, the stroke actually. The stroke in the light is very thin. Why it is thin? Because you go to the b.xml. This is 1 dp. Maybe let us change to 3 dp and see is there any difference. So that stroke width should change. Okay, so slightly better visiting card. Okay, so I think this could be the visiting card. You can use additionally what I did was I created a new file inside which folder, drawable folder, b.xml or some XML, where I put the XML pledge and then the shape tag and then the corner tag and then the stroke tag. Shape is rectangle and rounded rectangle I want, so I have given corner radius. And then the thickness of the rectangle I'm controlling using the stroke. Even color can be changed also, the color is there. So this is what, if, for example, is a black marble. Go to the, again, b.xml. Let us make it black. Black means 000, all zeros. Okay, so we can get a black color or any other color of the choice. So for controlling that line, we have to control the stroke tag, where the thickness as well as the width as well as the color can be controlled. Rounding, if you want more rounding, radius has to be controlled. Fine. So rectangle is a shape, you want to take square is there and other shapes will be there. You have to just check in the manual. But this is sufficient to just give some background to the visiting card. Okay. So this is the first program we are expecting from you to complete as well, visiting card. So it's just about playing with layout managers. So layout managers we have used, margin we have used, gravity we have used, coloring, text related properties have been used. Okay. How to load the image we have seen. When you are designing your visiting card, okay, don't put again JNNC itself. You output ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, and when you are submitting to us, don't put again JNNC and JNNC logo. Instead, you put your dream company and you put there. Okay, which company you are willing to join. Okay, you put that. Or if you want to create your own company, you put that itself. Hypothetical, no problem. Is it clear? But we'll see that at least you put other than JNNC. JNNC text ಇರಬಾರ್ದು, JNNC logo ಇರಬಾರ್ದು, and details ನಿಮ್ದಿರಬೇಕು. Again, don't put my detail. Put your name and what is your aspired designation and what is your phone number. You can put some. That's not required for us. Exact number ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿಲ್ಲ. You put something. Website you give something. Okay, but see that your company, your dream company, and your aspired position is highlighted there, and its logo is there. Right. Anyway, we are not distributing this app, so don't bother about copyright and other things. Okay. So this is the first program that is expected, which has to be done with the Android Studio. And as I told, we can use the Andy emulator. As the last part of this program's today conclusion, I will just show the result in mobile app also once. Mobile also. Okay. Just give me a minute. So I'll just stream my output there. So what we have to do here is there is a software called as A-Power. Of course, either you need not install. Since I am demonstrating my output to you, I am doing that. So the software is A-Power, or any other mirroring software can be used. The content of mobile will be screened onto the desktop. That's all. Any softwares are there. So both the cases you have to install that A-Power. It actually works on Wi-Fi. It is trying to connect my laptop Wi-Fi here. Okay, no problem. I'll just close and open. One minute. So my mobile screen is on there here for you. Now, small change is there when you're running, because by default it tries to run on the Andy simulator or the emulator. Go to run, and in that go for select device, where I will select my mobile Samsung, and then click run here. So the app should now come to the mobile, not the emulator or simulator. Yeah, this is the app. So I think look and feel almost the same. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ text is little bit better visible here compared to the emulator. Okay. So finally, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಬೇಕು. The app should come here. Okay. And one more thing, if you go to this app, just if you type, what is the name of the app? So what is my app name actually? Visiting card. You can see ಇದು default symbol of the Android. The app icon can be changed. App icon need not be like this. By default, this is called launcher icon. Launcher icon is by default for any app. So we can change the icon of the app. We need not keep that launcher, right? So what we have to do is we will search a very good icon now and try to put there. It should be an icon, small icon. Don't search a big image. So what we can do is, while searching itself, visiting card icon. Can take anyone which is available just to check out. Later you can select whichever is better for you. Okay, we'll put this. Save image as same folder you have to select. What is that? Drawable folder. What is that? E drive. In that, my MATLAB, visiting card, app, source, main, resource, drawable. I'll give vc.png. Select any image, just I have selected on random image. Okay. And then come to the manifest file, which you have not yet operated. Come to the manifest file. In that you can see Android : icon property for an application, Android : icon and Android : round icon. Both should be changed. So we have to change both Android : icon at drawable /vc. Similarly, for the round icon, you make a change at drawable /vc. Now try to run this. Output should not change, but you should get an icon. That's it. As you can see, this is the output. Let us check now. Okay, it is to reload. visiting card. Fine, either okay, output is same, but what I wanted to say is the icon. So let us just type visit. You can see the new visiting card. This is the visiting card which I created right now. Okay. So app icon should come there, right? You should always get a proper icon to the app. Then the launcher icon is there by default, which definitely will not make any sense. You have to put some icon which is representative of the problem you have taken. So better try to use the proper icons and make the app complete. Okay. So which is the file we have to change for connecting the icon? Which file in Android you have to change? We observe that which file, manifest file, and which are the two properties? Two properties which will get the path of the icon. So Android colon icon and Android colon rounded icon. Another ಕೆಲವು apps ಅಲ್ಲಿ rounded icon will take. In some of the other devices, it will take icon itself. So be safe, give both, okay, icon as well as rounded icon. Okay. So this is the change that has to be done. Android icon as well as Android round icon. So this completes our first experiment. So second experiment will take next week. Okay, and there we'll try to complete the calculator. So we'll design the calculator first using the tabular layout. Tabular layout you will take and you will try to design that. And then we'll try to code it. So it will take some time. First 145 minutes it may take to design itself. Later 1 hour we will take for coding it. Calculator coding has to be done. So that also we will do. It may take a little more time than scheduled next week. Okay. Be ready for that. That is the thing. Next. One more thing is, as I told, for the lab, I think I given 13 programs to be executed and then submitted. I think I'll go back to the classroom announcement again. What I have given. Yeah, perform the lab submission as indicated in the attached file. So this was the Word file I have attached. To submit programs on or before 17th and clearly given which email ID you have to submit and where you have to execute in the Kotlin or IntelliJ platform. All the programs were actually done. So you need to give the result running that. Okay. Let us see how many of you have really done that and how much you have done. Okay. So evaluation has been done and they have given this result. Yeah, this is the submission. Sir has taken all the things and clearly indicated here what is done, what is not done. Okay. As you can see, so many of you are not done there. First of all, Rohit, Swaraj Shetty, Darshan, Devesh, Kavana. So you should be regular. Problem is the modle helbeku. Okay, you should not wait until I ask why you have not done. You should inform the problem if it is there. Install Aptila Andre or any other problem is there. Should be informed. Keep informed. Okay. One of the level will be losing marks. That's all. It's a continuous evaluation. And see here, internals in weighted jasti in your scheme particularly. Model scheme are 2080. So weightage was completely on the externals. Your scheme 40 marks is for the internals. So that definitely is a bulk contribution. 40% is a good contribution out of 100. Even if you lose the marks and external exam, it depends on how you perform. So that might be a difficult thing. Marks parakadana, you will lose it. That should not happen. So if there is no other issues, you should have completed it and submitted it. Okay. So many of you have not done. At least try to complete today. Okay. By today we would expect your completion. And next week I think everybody will do this properly. We should not have any blank things like this next week. Okay. Sevi, Pratik Kadega, Priyanka, so Pooja, Sia, nobody has done. Okay. And here, Kalavarala Bandilali working. That much marks you will get. That's all. Okay. You should get it started within the lab. Next lab, problem you should have started it. We are there for you to help in remote login and other ways. You should get it done. That's all. Okay. Direct that's all. You will lose the marks. As I told you, 40 marks only if you lose it. Then you will struggle in 60 at the end. which might be difficult. Exam only, we don't know what will happen. Okay. ಇಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. And your luck, some difficult program comes to you. So all these things are there. Don't lose the marks. Okay. Or don't be in the thing like anyway they will give the marks. Okay. You should always earn. Marks should be earned. Then only you will get the value. Okay. So try to do that. Problems today, you should communicate. That's all. Again, laptop illa or ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ they should communicate. We will tell you the alternative for that. So without any information, without this, if you simply leave it empty, this is the response we get. Okay. So 54 I have done out of the 70 chiller strength, 70 odd. Okay. This is one thing. Next week, again, as I told, next Monday already you have to submit. Anyway, I'll put that in this training also. But you should submit by Monday. Any lab week in programs, you should come Monday. Test it, we'll excuse that and give some other extra time. But if there is no test, you should submit on time. Right. Idu one. Now I think all batches are available. We will discuss on the project as well. Nim batch idra saku andre I will take it in the order of how you submitted. ನೀವು ಗೂಗಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾನ್ಫ್ಲಿಕ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ದೆಮ್ ದಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್. ಓಕೆ. ಈಗ ಬರೀ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ದೆನ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ ವೀಕ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗಿವ್. ಅದೇ ತರದೇ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು, ರೈಟ್? ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸಿ ದಿ ಐಡಿಯಾಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಪ್. So our batch you have to respond and tell what is your idea and we'll finalize that. Okay. In that action you can leave. Need not wait for all the batches to complete. So I have made a file here on many projects. One second, I'll just open that. Yeah, many project topics. What you have submitted in the Excel, I have taken it. Any changes there also inform me. First batch, Kirtana, Sinchana and Pooja. Are you there? Please unmute and you can speak.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And this is your topic. What is that? COVID remedy generator.
Yes,
what is that actually?
Sir, it's like a simple quiz app. We will extend it like starting there will be some questions patients have to answer, and according to that answers, the app will generate the remedy.
Okay, you will store all the remedies. You will store all the symptoms and remedies in the database, and if a question is asked, it will give the answer. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you want to do it on the internet or just local database?
I think
local. Questions and answers change ಆಗ್ತಿರುತ್ತಾ ಅಥವಾ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಬಂದು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ
ಸರ್. ಅದ್ರ ತಕ್ಕಂಗೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಸರ್. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವಾಗ
ಯಾ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಯು ಗಾಟ್ ಟೂ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಈಗ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅವಾಗ ಲೋಕಲ್ ಡಾಟಾಬೇಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಡಾಟಾಬೇಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ SQLite. ಓಕೆ.
ಹಾ ಸರ್.
So you can use that. ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಆಪ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತಾರೆ ಅವರ ಲೋಕಲ್ ಡಾಟಾಬೇಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಅವಾಗ ಕ್ವೈರಿ ಇಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಡೈನಾಮಿಕ್ ಆಗೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಸಮ್ವೇರ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲೈಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕೀಪ್ ಇಟ್.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫೈರ್ಬೇಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾರು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಇಂದ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. You have a blueprint of that, what you will do. Screens.
Okay, sir.
Screen ಏನೇನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ, ಹೋಮ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಏನೋ ಅದರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ, you have a blueprint. You just write it in the sheet of paper and keep it ready.
Okay, sir.
Send that. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ you can start doing it. Okay.
ಸರಿ ಸರ್. Okay.
Okay, this topic is fine. Okay, all of you, one more thing. ಏನಂದ್ರೆ first we'll collect the ideas, then I will tell you keep the blueprint and other things ready and send to me. Test ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿಲಿ, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ we will start implementing it. Okay, week by week I will tell what you have to do. Okay, so don't directly bring the output and show. We will see progressively your implementation, whether you are only doing it or not. Okay, we are there to help. Start doing it. Okay, ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಯಾವ week ಏನೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. According to that, if you do, it is sufficient. Within 1 month we will keep a deadline to finish it. ಎಲ್ಲ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ, we will try to finish now itself. Okay, yes, the first batch is done. So I will keep that itself, COVID remedy generator topic. Next, Zahir Abbas, Moin Mirza and Chetan BA.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah,
Here.
good afternoon. Yeah, what is the name you have kept for the app? I
So
thought,
we haven't decided the name itself. Actually, we were discussing it yesterday, but we couldn't come up with it. So the basic idea is to make a student dashboard, like integrate all the features that the online process that is going through right now, and make it a little bit flawless and less time consuming. Actually, what is happening these days is some resources are on the classroom, then other resources are on the WhatsApp.
correct.
It gets a bit cumbersome, so we're trying to integrate all that and also make it mobile native. So as the JAMS website is not that
It is good that.
responsive in the mobile, yeah. So we'll make it mobile native, and yeah, that's the basic idea of it. So we were designing the wireframes, and we will send the details further on later.
Okay, fine. You can continue with that. Ultimately, you want to build a student dashboard that will integrate all this feature, particularly helpful for this online interventions what we are having right now. Huh?
Exactly, sir. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. No problem. I will keep student dashboard. Later we can change the name. Okay.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Next, Matsudan, Navneet Kamath, Nagraj, something
Yes,
related to college you have also given. What you want to do?
sir, we thought that all circulars are to be organized well from the college. Separate groups will be there for separate classes, and separate department uh, folders will be there in the alert tab.
Hmm.
We thought that just for circular management, there will
Okay,
be
somebody
circulars.
sent the circular, whether principal or the
Yeah,
class teacher or the HOD,
yeah,
it should reach the students.
yeah,
That is one thing. So you can use notification and other
yeah.
approaches for that.
Yes, sir.
Anything else other than the circular posting?
No, no, sir. We thought just for circular, but we
Okay,
can
you
include.
can integrate a parent also, like if any class is not there or other things, other information which parent wants to know.
Yes,
That also can be included. And the stakeholders are many. Okay.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So as I told, the principal,
Yes,
teacher,
yes, sir.
even any other person who wants to come, account section or somebody wants to communicate. Okay.
Yes,
They should have an option to upload.
yes, sir. This is
And
for just
we can
official communication between college and student. Rather
college.
than using WhatsApp for those things, we thought that some official app should be done.
Yeah, you can do a very good notification app actually, and you
Yes,
can keep it that. Okay.
yes,
And
yes,
you can implement it as a service which will run in background, just like
yes,
Facebook.
yes, sir.
A notification ಬಂದಾಗ automatically it will pop up actually.
ಹೌದು ಸರ್, ಸರ್ವರ್ ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಸರ್ವರ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಸರ್ವರ್ ಅನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು.
Central server require ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ
ಹೌದು
notification.
ಸರ್.
Yeah. Firebase or some other things you can again as a blessing. Internet based ಮಾಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ you can better go with Firebase which is free.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ,
Domain ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ it will be costly, so it is better to go for Firebase.
ಓಕೆ, ಓಕೆ,
Yeah, that's fine. I'll write it as some alert, college alert app.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
Next, Nidhi SR, Siri HS, Harshita, and Nagaveni. Idira? Any one of you? ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ವಾ 4 ಜನ? ನಿಧಿ SR?
Hello.
ಯಾರು ಒಬ್ರು ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ನಿಧಿ SR, Siri HS, Harshita, Nagaveni.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಅಂತ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ನೀವೇ ಅದು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಲೈಕ್ 2 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲ.
ಅದೇ, so you want us to give the topic, right?
ಹಾ, ಸೊ ನಾವು ಹಂಗೆ ನೀವೇ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು.
ಆಯ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, ಆ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನೀಗ.
ಹಾ,
ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ they have kept 7 programs. Okay.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
One of the program is medicine reminders.
ಓಕೆ.
ಈಗ ಅದು you can just see the question again ಅಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಏನ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it should give the reminder of the medicines.
ಹಾ,
ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಯಾವ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ತಗೊಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. will ಆ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ it will remind us, that app will remind us. ಒಂದು ಅಲಾರಂ ರನ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, it should remind. Okay. ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇದೆ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. It should be done late. So just
Okay.
go to the question and get the screens. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅನ್ಸಿ screen ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Then I will get. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
it could be your application. Smart
Okay.
medicine reminder. Okay, if you want to
Okay,
get.
sir.
That is the first
Okay.
question in part B. Okay. Yeah, Shrestha Bharadwaj, okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
ಸರ್ ಅದು ಶ್ರೈನ್ ಅಂತ ನೇಮ್ ಇಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಲೈಕ್ ನಂದು ನೇಹಾದ್ ನೇಮ್ ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬರೀ ನೇಮ್ಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್
China.
ಶ್ರೈನ್ ಶ್ರೈನ್
Shrine, okay.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ SH ನಂದು ನೇಹಾದ್ ಎನ್ನಿ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡು ಲೈಕ್ ನಾವ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನೇಮ್ ಇಡ್ಬೇಕಂತಿದ್ವಿ ಶ್ರೈನ್ DBMS ಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಇಡ್ಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂದಿದ್ರು ಸೊ ವಿ ಕೇಮ್ ಅಪ್ ವಿತ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಫ್ಯಾಷನ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಅದ್ರ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಒಂದು ಆಪ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಡ್ರೆಸ್ಸಸ್ ಆಪ್ ಮಿಂತ್ರಾ ಆ ತರ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ ಲೈಕ್ ನಮ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ವೈಸ್ ಏನು ಅಷ್ಟು ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದೇಸಿ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ ತರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಮೇಡ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅದನ್ನ ತರ್ಬೇಕು ಅದು ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸರ್ ಬಟ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಅದೇನು ನಾವ್ ಆಪ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ
Okay. ಈ ಫ್ಯಾಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಕೊಡೋದು ಅದನ್ನ ಐ ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಪುಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಆಪ್.
ಹಾ ಸರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಡ್ರೆಸ್ಸಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಮೇನ್.
ಅದೇ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ. If they want, they can order it like that.
ಅದು ಪೇಪಾಲ್ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಹಾಕಕ್ಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸರ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬ್ರೌಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು.
Okay, at least ಇಷ್ಟ ಆದ್ರೂ ಸಾಕು first. If the people is able to search that and get the information and know what is the cost and other details, that is one thing. Okay, ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಅದೇ you need a database again. Again, ಅದೇ ಎರಡು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ Firebase has to be used. ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಆಲ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ ಒಂದು ಆಪ್ ನ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲೋಕಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ database. So this requires a database. The app will require a database, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay, you can continue. I'll mark it as fashion. Okay. ಮಾಡಿ screen ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ you just write it in a blueprint and send. No, ಏನೇನಿದೆ ಅಂತ. Okay. Yes, next Pratik, Rohit SJ, Mantana and Rushank. ಇದೀರಾ?
Yes, sir.
Pratik HS.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. ಏನಾದ್ರು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ ನೀವು given to do in part B?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ನೋಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಇದೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ, SMS ನೋಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದಿದೆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ 4th or 5th ಯಾವ್ದು ಇದೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಕೇರ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಅದು ನೋಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊಸ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಡೇಟ್ಸ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅವೈಲಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೇರ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಹೊಸದಾದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರ ನೋಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅವ್ರ ನೋಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ಹಿಯರ್, right?
Okay.
Just note down this topic.
Yes,
ಮತ್ತೆ ನೋಟಿದ ಕೇಳಿ.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, vaccine and COVID care center notification. ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ರು you can note it down. Okay. Next ಯಾರು? ಸೌಜನ್ಯ, ಅಪೇಕ್ಷಾ, ರಕ್ಷಿತಾ, ಏಟಿ, ನಂದಿತಾ. ಸೌಜನ್ಯ SB, ಅಪೇಕ್ಷಾ, ರಕ್ಷಿತಾ ಏಟಿ, ನಂದಿತಾ KM. ಇದೀರಾ?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What is your topic?
So we are trying to do human safety Android project. So in that we'll just register our phone number, and in case of emergency, any emergencies, we want to give the notifications for guardians of friends. So we'll register their number also, and in case of emergency we'll try to send notification for them.
Okay, under notification we have pre one number, you will be keeping that, and if you face any problem you will just Apple click ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, it will go to them.
Yes, sir.
Is it right?
Yes, sir.
ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ಅವಾಗ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ಇರ್ತಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನು ಹೋಗೋದಲ್ಲ. That can be done. Location information can be sent. Okay, that way you plan, right? Okay, women safety app. Fine. Next, Grishma, Harsha KL, Neha CB, Vaishnavi.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. You have thought of any idea? Or
Yes, sir. I did think of an idea. I thought that I can build a billing app, all the billing
Okay, sir, will work.
at the end of the month will be included in this app, sir. So that when we log into the app, we will be entering all the details like our phone number till the Aadhaar card number. And if you want to pay a bill, in particular the mobile bill, then we can go to that column, and in that it will only ask us about the payment type at that moment, sir. That is what we are thinking. The database must have the details beforehand, but if you are going to a particular concept or a block, and there the data related to that will be entered in that block. This is what I'm thinking. Just like the paying bills in Amazon. Amazon is using it for a separate column is kept for in Amazon, but we are thinking of building a separate app or exclusive app for billing, paying bills.
Okay, but that should connect to those vendors. No, if you're paying mobile vendor, it should connect. Like
Yes,
that.
sir.
If you're LIC, it should connect like that.
Yes, sir.
So, do you think that could be done?
Sir, I can only build the prototype for now, but if I want to commercialize it, I can get those things.
Okay, you can make it as a reminder also, like you can make it as a reminder, and every month, whatever
Yes.
bills are there, you can make that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine, I will keep it as a billing app. Okay.
Sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Amita GM, Shreya DB, Raksha, Gauri Kumar.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
ಸರ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಬಂದು ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕೇರ್ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಏನೇನು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅಡ್ಮಿನ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯಲ್ಲ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಅದೇನ್ ರೆಮಿಡಿ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನೇಷನ್ಗೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗೋದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಡೊನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾನೇ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಈಗ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಡೂ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಗೇನ್. ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ಸ್. ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇರ್ತಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಿಕಾಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್, ಅದೇ ಸ್ಯಾನಿಟೈಸರ್, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಬಹುದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆಸ್ ಯು ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಅದರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್. ಅದರ್ ದೆನ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಡು. ಓಕೆ. ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ಇದು ನೋಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಬೇರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಿಕಾಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ
ನೋಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರೋ ತರಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಸ್ಪ್ರೇ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇದು ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅಂತದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ಫೋಕಸ್ ಆನ್ ದೋಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಮಾಸ್ಕ್, ಸ್ಯಾನಿಟೈಸರ್ಸ್, ಸ್ಪ್ರೇ, ಡಿಸ್ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರೇಗಳು ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಓಕೆ. ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈಗ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಆ ತರದ್ದು ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೋದು. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್, ಸೊ ವೇರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್, ಹತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಔಟ್. ವಿಚ್ ಅವರ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಕೋವಿಡ್. ಓಕೆ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ಫೈನ್. ಹೆಸರು ಹಂಗೆ ಇರಲಿ, ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕೇರ್ ಆಪ್ ಅಂತ, ಬಟ್ ಯು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಫೀಚರ್, ರೈಟ್?
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾರು 24 ಬರೀ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ. ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್? 4th and 18 CS 24.
Sir, there are still 2 more people, sir, but they are not registered. Sir.
Okay, can you tell me what is your name first?
Darshan, sir.
Darshan. Okay.
Sir. Sir, I will change the idea to sir.
Okay, one second. Darshan in CS alwa?
Yes, sir.
In your batch?
Devesh Bhaskar, sir. 25, sir.
One second. I'll edit this. 25.
Yes, sir.
Another one?
Naveen, sir.
Naveen?
Yes, sir, Naveen.
His register number?
Sir, 55, sir.
What is your idea? Some lung you gave, no? Lung exercise earlier.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right now I'm changing it to a birthday greeting, sir. Birthday greeting, sir. Means all the types of greetings. Yes, sir. Greeting card, sir. I'm using multiple templates to generate a greeting card, sir, from user to the person who I need to send. It will create a word greeting with some music built in, sir. That's the idea.
That will be sent to that person, and if he logs in, that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You first get the screens. What you will do? Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Blueprint.
Okay, sir.
Greeting app. This I will remove them. Next, Shashank, Shivkumar, Ranjan, Swaraj Shetty.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, have you given any idea? You mentioned part B.
No, sir. I was waiting. You will assign the topic.
Yeah, actually, one this thing is a media player program is there in that part B.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
You can make it a customized media player, searchable media player. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And also, what we can do is we can even, if you get a song, we can link which library contains it nearby. Musical shop contains that. Okay. Those things can be done. Part B one program is a media player. Just go through that. We shall try to customize on that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Fine.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Shreya S, Rashmi R, Chetana HK.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening,
Yeah,
sir.
good evening. Topic
We are waiting.
Okay, you are not given any topic.
Yes,
We
sir.
are waiting you to assign the topic.
Okay. Yeah, you can take this one, the college canteen app. Okay. The college canteen, whatever items are there, it will display, and we have to just select and order. Okay.
Okay, sir.
ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. Whichever is new item and other things, flashing messages can be displayed. ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇದೆ, that is mini project, asynchronous task ಅಂತ. Okay. Just go to that question, asynchronous task, right?
Okay, sir.
Adrudhu will implement it. Right? So note on this topic, college canteen using Firebase and asynchronous task. Yeah, next. Sharat UP, Sankalp, Rohit Yan, Pratik Adiga.
Yes, sir.
What topic not decided until.
Sir, topic ಇನ್ನು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಇನ್ ಒನ್ ಆಪ್ ತರ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಸರ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಿಡ್ಮೇಟ್ ತರ.
ಯಾವುದು?
ವಿಡ್ಮೇಟ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಆಲ್ ಇನ್ ಒನ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ದೇ ಓನ್ 1-to-1 ಚಾಟ್, ಓನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ, ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ದೇ ಓನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೋ ಹಂಗೆ.
ಇ-ಕಾಮರ್ಸ್ ಆಪ್ ಹೌದಾ?
ಹಾ, ಹೆಸರು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಹೇಳೋದು ಅಂತ, ಬಟ್ ಓನ್ ಆಪ್ ಅಂತ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಲ್ ಇನ್ ಒನ್ ಆಪ್ ತರ.
ಅದೇ ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತನಾ? ಆಲ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್. ಎಸ್ ಸರ್, ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ.
ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ಇನ್ ಒನ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸಹನಾ, ಶ್ರೇಯಾಂಕ, ಸ್ನೇಹ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೌರಭ.
ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಸರ್.
ಸರ್
ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಸರ್. ಟು ಡೂ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಸರ್. ಸರ್
ಅದೇ ನಿಮ್ದ?
ಹಾ ಸರ್, ಅದು 2 ಸತಿ ಕಳ್ಸಿದ್ವಿ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗಿ.
So you will do the second one, to do list.
ಯಾ ಸರ್.
To do list already ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ನೀವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಹೊಸದು?
ಸರ್
ಈ ಟು ಡೂ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬಹಳ ಹಳೆ ಟಾಪಿಕ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದಿದೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಅದು. ಬಟ್ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ರೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲ್ ಐಡಿಯಾ?
ಸರ್ ಇನ್ನೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದಂದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ಮನೇಲಿ ವಯಸ್ಸಾದವರೆಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮರ್ತೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ಆತರ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ರಿಮೈಂಡರ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಇಡೋ ರೀತಿ ಹಂಗೇನಾದ್ರು ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಸರ್.
ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ರಿಮೈಂಡರ್ಸ್. ಅದರ್ ದೆನ್ ದಟ್
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್
ಟಾಸ್ಕ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಹಾಕೊಂತಿದ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟು ಡೂ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ರೈಟ್?
ಹಾ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಏನು, ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಚೆಕಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್.
ಯಾ ಸರ್, ನೋಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಈಗ 5 minutes, ಈಗ ನಾವು ಈಗ 4 o'clock ನಾವು ಆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ 2 minutes 3 minutes ಮುಂಚೆನೆ ನೋಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಬರೋ ರೀತಿ ಸರ್.
ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್, ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಟು ಡೂ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಸುಮಾರು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಒಬ್ರು ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರತ್ತಾರ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಯಾರು ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟಿ, ನೀವ್ ಎಷ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀರ ಅಂತ. ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರ್ ದ ಟು ಡೂ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್, ಅದ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಕವರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ
ಹಾ ಸರ್
ಅದರದ್ದು ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ ಟು ಡೂ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ,
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್
ಯಾವ ಟಾಸ್ಕಿಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ,
ಹಾ ಸರ್
ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಟು ಡೂ ಆ್ಯಪ್. ಓಕೆ,
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
Next, Pavana HR, Pavana M, Nambavi, and Nandini.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah.
Sir, we are planning on an event management app, sir.
Hmm.
Basically customizing the decoration, catering, music, everything for the customers. So we'll have different layouts for the decoration, food items, for everything, and like give their needs through text also. So we have to yet work on it, but the blueprint is event management.
Okay, event management. You will try to handle the different events in that. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
fine.
Service-based apps.
Okay. Saptami Bhatt, Ramesh Shri, Nidhi R, Smruti KS.
Yes, sir. So we are planning to build a very basic gaming app, tic-tac-toe. It has two players given with two different symbols. Each player has to place their symbol in the adjacent places like horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. And the player who achieves this first is considered as the winner.
ಅದು ಗೇಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಅದು ಅಥವಾ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು
ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾದ್ರೆ ಮುಗಿತಾ ಗೇಮ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇರುವಾಗ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ 5 ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಯಾರು ವಿನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೋ ಅವ್ರು ವಿನ್ನರ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ತರ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಅದೇ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ, ಫೈನ್.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೋ. ಓಕೆ, Sir, 006 417 CS006. Who is this? These are all 17 CS006. Okay, next Ananya Bhatt, Chaitanya Prabhu, Nidhishri MP. Yeah.
Our plan is to create an application to know the availability of books in our college library. Like every time we have to visit our library and inquire whether the books are available or not. So our plan is to create an app which display the books available in our library. Like we have to log in using our USN. Then different branch name will be displayed. We have to select our branch and the prescribed books which are available in our college will be displayed. So it's not, we can.
Yeah, for book available is there or not, you will search it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, one thing.
We can even request if the book is available, like when it's available, then a notification will come as soon as it's available in library.
Actually, librarian can use this facility. What they will do is they will create a queue always. Instead, they can tell when you have to come. So at that time, if you go and you can collect it, you are writing a letter and you are asking for books. That can be done through app only. Okay, book bank. Okay, you can explain that with this. Okay, fine. So JNLC library app I will put. Aishwarya, Pankaja, Padmavati.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, an idea?
Sir, ಇದು ನಮ್ದು ಹೌಸ್ ರೆಂಟಲ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮನೆ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಇದೆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಸರ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಲೋಡ್ಸ್ ಇರೋರು ಮನೆ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವರು ಮನೆ ಅಥವಾ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ನ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋರು ಅದೇ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋರು ಅದನ್ನ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಒನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸರ್, ಈ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಈ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಬನ್ನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಂದು ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ, ಅದೇ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡೋ ತರ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಡೋ ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಮನೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. ಅಂಡ್ once ಸಿಕ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ then you can do the next step what you told. They can fix a time and things. Okay. Fine. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಲೂ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡಿ we'll see how it goes. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah, Niharika, Nikita, DP, Nishad, Anjum, Diyanka, please, Saga.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you have asked part B again, right? Part B.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You assign one of the programs, sir.
So it's on the COVID zone information and daily statistics, so that we can get. Okay. So ಈಗೇನಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಕಂಟೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಝೋನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ. So if they keep updating, your map ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಂಗೆ ಈ ಏರಿಯಾ ಕಂಟೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಝೋನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ we can see that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ದು ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಹತ್ತತ್ರ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಂಟೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಝೋನ್ ಇದೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Like that we can.
Okay, sir.
App can be developed. Okay.
Okay, sir.
COVID zone information. If possible, we can even fetch daily statistics also. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೇಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೆಮಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಡ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಅಂತ ಒಂದಿದೆ ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I think ಎಲ್ಲ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇನ್ಯಾರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ who is has not given, they should call and inform. Okay. So ಯಾರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ they have discussed. Okay, and we'll move to the next step. I'll upload this. Okay. ಯಾರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, I don't know about that. ಯಾರು ಬೇರೆ ಆಗಲಿ ಅದರ ಟೀಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ we don't know. Okay, last you will face the problem, right? Idune will keep it as finalist for putting on the exam. Fine. So this is today's discussion. As I told, make a blueprint, keep it ready. I will tell you to WhatsApp sometime or ಮಾಡಿ ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ we will start one by one. Okay, implementing it. Right. Yeah. Thank you. So mark your attendance if you are not done. If you are already done, okay, you can leave. Okay, thank you. We'll close it.